Hello, this is Caleb here, and thought I'd show you a little bit about Maya. Hang on, I gotta turn my voice down a little bit. Okay, that's better. Ah, all right. Let's see here. Yes. When you first open up Maya, I'm using 2010, by the way, x64, as you can see up there. And when you first open it up, this is probably what it's going to look like. And I can't stand working with all this clutter around, but I'll show you the interface, and then you can decide for yourself as to what you'd like to do. However, if you were smart, like me, you'll do it my way. Trust me. Am I right? Well, you don't know that yet. Well, probably you do. Anyway, so you've got 4 views here: side, front, top, perspective. These are orthographic right here, and they're all interchangeable, so it really doesn't matter. I could go to my perspective view up here, which actually will look like this, somewhere around like that, right there. And I could click on view, and I could go down to predefined bookmarks and choose an orthographic view, and I'll choose perspective. So it doesn't really matter, they're all interchangeable, but very, very helpful. And basically you can click inside of each one to select it, to select that view for navigation, or hover your mouse cursor in any one of them. You don't even have to click, just hover your mouse cursor and tap your space bar. Just quickly tap it once, like so. And it'll take you right into that particular view. Over here on the left hand side you have various tools for manipulation, move, rotate, scale, stuff like that. And I don't use these myself. I use W and E and R, and which do the same thing. You really want to get to learn your keyboard shortcuts, because if you had to do all of your projects using these buttons, you'd quickly blow your brains out, quickly. So anyway, down here, same thing that I was doing before. Click on it, maximize that, 4 views, etc. And over here we've got our channels and layer editor, and the layers are quite a bit like Photoshop, actually. That's for a different lesson, I think. Up here we've got just shortcuts. They're buttons, and you can click on them to do things quickly. General, curves, surfaces, polygons, subdivisions, etc. And of course custom. You can make your own shortcut buttons. You can get things done very quickly. I highly recommend it. And so forth. Okay, up here basically you've got some fairly handy things, but really not necessary. Once again, you learn the shortcuts on your keyboard and you're better off. So I'll highly recommend that. Down here you got your time slider for animation, and range slider right here. This basically scales your time slider. And if you're, trust me, if you've got 900 frames and you can't even see your individual frames anymore, then you can use this to scale as well as move around on the timeline itself. And right now I've got it set to 30 frames per second, which you won't have that when you first open it up. It'll probably be 24 frames per second. You can change that if you hit Window up above here and go to Settings, Preferences, Preferences. In Preferences, select Settings right here, and just choose it right here in your time menu. And then you go to Time Slider right down here. This will be set to 1.25. Just set it to 1. And Real Time, play every frame, half, twice, blah blah blah. I always choose real time, and that's for playback. So that's all of that. Okay, so that's the layout basically. Now here's what I would highly recommend. Let's go ahead and just tap your spacebar in the perspective window. Hold down Control and tap your spacebar one time. And we just got rid of all that nonsense. Thank heavens. That's a load off, eh? Alright, once you've done that, then from here you can navigate to anything in any menu quite easily. Just hold down your spacebar like so. And you'll notice these little lines right here. Okay, each quadrant is going to give you a different menu if you hold down your right mouse key. And keep it held down and it'll stretch out this little line right here. You see that? Of course you do. It'll stretch out the little line, and whatever you let go on, that particular thing in the menu will appear. And each quadrant is going to give you a different menu set. So, like so. Right now, I want to go to Attributes, Channel Box / Layer Editor. I like to have that up because it's extremely handy, and you will want this, actually. Trust me, you will want it. If I'm doing animation, then I'm going to go ahead and hold down my spacebar again over here off to the right quadrant. Hold down my right mouse key, let it go on Time Slider. There it is. And I need my range slider as well. Right quadrant, that's space bar, hold down your right mouse key, keep it held down, and then let it go on the item that you want. We've got our range slider now. And another thing that comes in really handy for me, one more thing, is the shelf, which you see right here. Let it go, and here's our shelf. Okay. So, from here, basically the only thing that you need to know is navigation. Navigation in Maya, in my opinion, out of all the 3D packages that I've ever worked with, is the most intuitive. It's very cumbersome at first, but you get used to it quite quickly, and once you do, it's indispensable, and you wish that every program had it. Which, a lot of 3D packages actually do include it. But you just hold down your Alt key on your keyboard, and you're going to be using all three of your mouse buttons. Okay, so hold down Alt, mouse button 1, which your left mouse button is going to rotate like so. Middle mouse is going to move it like so, and right is going to take us in and out like so, which you can also scroll. But it's much more accurate to simply Alt right mouse to navigate. So you should be able to navigate very quickly after a while. Just to prove that, let's say I'll create a sphere. What is this? Yeah, sphere. Alright. And I can get around to any side that I want quite quickly. Up, down, you name it. Very convenient. Alright, now also another thing that you're going to notice, by the way, Z is undo, your Z key. Not Control Z or anything like that, just Z. Just tap Z and it'll undo. Another thing that I was going to recommend, suddenly, oh yes, that's right, I remember now. Up here in the right hand corner, where I've got my cursor kind of floating around right there, the upper right hand corner, one thing that you can have, which you'll probably have if you've never opened Maya before you open it for the first time, one thing that you may notice is your Viewcube. So I'll go ahead and select to show that because I have that off. But the Viewcube it's actually really handy. It's a tool that I really love. I think it's really great because it's quick, and strangely enough, once you get very advanced into Maya, you'll notice that you can actually correct some camera errors along the way. It's just kind of a, but it's, well, never mind, just disregard that. But anyway, so on the Viewcube, I can quickly switch to different angles. You'll notice all I'm doing is clicking on them, and it's giving me the view that I need very quickly. And then there's a little house up here, a little, looks like a little home, and just click on that, and it'll take us right back to the original the original view or starting point for your camera. So, and anyway, it works great. I highly recommend it. So that's the end of this first tutorial, and that should get you into it fairly quickly. You can cut out all the you know, I cut away all the fat. You don't need to know about that right away. It's very simple. Remember, tap your space bar, tap it for your views, hold down your space bar, plus hold in your right mouse for various things. And oh, there was one last thing too. Your F keys up at the top. Well, that's gonna get you into a different menu set up here. Right now, I've got it set from polygons, so I've got like mesh and normals and UVs and so forth, things that are meant for editing polygons. But you're going to want, like for instance, I've got surfaces, so I've got NURBs, non-uniform rational B-splines, and subdivisions and animation and rendering and all that sort of stuff in your tabs up here. But these tabs are only, they display shortcuts for the tools for working with each one of these particular things. So like polygons here, I've got, you know, what's it, cut faces and extrude and so forth. But you know, there's a lot more than just these shortcuts. You use your menu up here, and your menu is going to really get you in deep with a lot of stuff. So you want to remember your F keys. If I tap, let's say F2, then suddenly I can create, let's say, you know, joints, a skeleton for animating a character. You know, I can, you know, bind a skin to the joints and so forth, and it's for animation, basically. Then I've got F4, which is going to get me into my NURBs, surfaces, and so forth, subdivisions, NURBs. And then F5, which is going to get me into particles, fluid effects, and all that sort of stuff. And F6 for rendering, basically. For your for the final render stuff. Anyway, so F keys, spacebar, Alt, and you know, your mouse buttons. It'll take time, but we'll just go from there. So that was well, that was that, and yeah, that was it. Okay, bye.